To the far northern reaches of our globe, on the cusp of the Arctic Circle, lies a realm that seems conjured from a dream. Svalbard's dramatic, snow-swept landscapes and drifting icebergs are home to some of the world's most mystical creatures. Embarking on an 11-day expedition, we set out to uncover the magic of this otherworldly land. On the second part of our trip, we pushed up into the Arctic Circle on our way towards the North Pole. And here's how it went. Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to Svalbard, Norway. We have just embarked on our second 5-day cruise. I just finished my first 5-day cruise where we did a southeastern part of Svalbard, checking out a lot of the islands, some of the dramatic landscapes here. We saw 2 polar bears, a bunch of seabirds, we saw some walruses, some reindeer, and we're fortunate to be going on a second tour with Albatross Expeditions, where we get to go up the west coast and up to the northern part of Svalbard. So we're just leaving Longyearbyen, which is the northernmost city in the world, cute little old mining town. And from here, we're gonna come out of the bay and head up kind of some of the western fjords and ice fields and regions of northwestern Svalbard. Last week was my first Arctic expedition, so I got a little bit of a taste and feel for getting on the Zodiacs and going on expeditions, doing some wildlife sighting and bird sighting, going through some of the ice, and I'm really looking forward to go to the northern region. Of course, we have no idea what type of wildlife we'll see, but we've heard that there's a better likelihood that we might see some more polar bears up in that area. And then I just think we're gonna get into some more dramatic ice and glaciers as we head up to the more northern reaches of Svalbard. So yeah, this is our first night where we're just setting off from Longyearbyen, and we're gonna have an overnight cruise here. And again, we have the midnight sun, same as last time, where the sun just never sets. So you can come out any time of day and you'll just have bright blue skies and sunny days and amazing views of all of the white-capped mountains that surround us and these amazing fjords. So as we learned from last time, we never really know what the expeditions will be. It depends a lot on weather and what the captain thinks is safe and appropriate to do some of our Zodiac and land expeditions. So yeah, we'll keep you informed if we see any wildlife and as we head out on some of the expeditions for this trip. So really looking forward to this kind of adventure again, and just a beautiful ship to just relax and enjoy this amazing cruise through this magical landscape. Guys, it is our first morning of the expedition here. Last night we just sailed out of Longyearbyen. We had a lot of introduction meetings, safety meetings, and giving us a bit of an overview of what our route will be, and where the plan is to kind of go way up north of Spitsbergen and go even further into the Arctic and hit a bunch of packed ice is the plan. But this morning we just have the most amazing conditions. We have this glassy ocean and we're entering Smørbergen, which used to be an old whaling industry here, and we were just greeted by these stunning mountains. We've had a few walruses pop up out of the water here, but it's just incredible how calm it is. Like, there's no wind and it's actually quite warm, and we're just approaching this amazing row of snow-covered peaks. So we're gonna head in here, and then we have our polar bear spotter Renee up on the front deck there, and he said he's almost 100% sure we're gonna see a bear today. He said this is just perfect conditions for it. So yeah, we're gonna head in here and keep looking for wildlife.
Channel that we went through, and this is where we are right now, over here in Bjorn. We have a few glaciers ahead of us. It's not only one, it's several small glaciers, and they have different names. The height of the front, what is above the water, might be around 30-40 meters high.
All right, guys, the captain has just taken us down into the Bjorn Fjord, and we've come to the end of the fjord here, and we're just surrounded 180 degrees by these massive, jagged glaciers. And to give us some scale, he was saying some of these glaciers are about 30-40 meters high, or that'd be about 100-120 feet above the water here. It's hard to get that scale, but these are just giant pieces of ice, and you're just surrounded by these jagged mountains. So really beautiful, and you have some of the ice floating right by the ship. So yeah, incredible views. That was incredible, just standing out here, just overlooking the glacier, just these massive chunks of ice. And again, it was just on all three sides of us. We were surrounded by the glacier. So absolutely beautiful. We're gonna go down to the lower deck to floor 5. We're gonna get our briefing on what the expedition is for this afternoon. So yeah, we'll figure that out, and then we'll see you later when we start the expedition. We have just dropped anchor at the outer part of the Smeerenberg inlet here, and we just had our briefing, and the plan is to do an afternoon Zodiac cruise. There's a couple walrus that we can see right on the peninsula, and we're gonna get on the Zodiacs here after they do the scout and just kind of cruise along the coast among some of these beautiful mountains, and probably get a closer look at the walrus there, and then see what other wildlife awaits us along this little inlet here. So yeah, they'll be calling groups within the next hour or so to head down to the mudroom, get all geared up, and then heading out on the Zodiacs. the bear, but he's so small that'd be hard to even get a photo or video of him. But it's right in this little snow patch here. So. We just finished our first Zodiac cruise on our first afternoon here on the Ocean Albatross. And yeah, going by those walrus, we swung back by them at the end and they were a little bit more active, but then seeing the polar bear was definitely very exciting. It was a tough viewing because it was a white polar bear on the snow, but yeah, they were confident we were going to see a bear today, and they were right. Yeah, that's about it for today's expedition. Tonight into tomorrow, I think we're going to be sailing even further north of Svalbard, a little bit away from the mainland up to the packed ice. So that should be really cool. And so I'll let you guys know what the next expedition is once we figure that out. And if we see anything else along the way, I'll let you know. But gonna just enjoy some of the amenities of the ship, hang out with some friends here on the boat, and we'll see you next expedition. We were just about to go to dinner when we got a call that they saw the bear that we saw from the Zodiac cruise earlier get up and went for a swim, so it might pop up on one of these islands again if we're lucky. Just getting a viewing of the polar bear now. He's come back around the little hill on this island and he's right on the shore. Still probably about 200 or 300 meters away, but beautiful. You can see him just walking along the coast there. Guys, that was an incredible viewing of the bear. Probably just 100, 200 meters there. Again, the only problem was it was into the sun, but he kind of came up over this little hill on the island, then he walked all across this rocky coast. He was digging for some eggs in the rocks, and then he walked back over and then swam across to the other side. But yeah, that was amazing sighting, and we got to watch him for probably like half an hour just make that journey across the beach. So yeah, anyways, it's about 8 o'clock tonight, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It's just about 9 a.m. and we are about 60 miles north of Spitsbergen, the land of Svalbard here. We're just about to hit some of the polar Arctic ice, the huge ice shelf that takes you all the way to the North Pole here. You can see the ice cap approaching, so we're heading out to deck 8 to watch that happen.
What is very cool is that right now we are northern of 80s degree north, meaning that right now from the beginning of this ice till the horizon we're getting to North Pole. So the only thing separating us from North Pole now is just this ice. Yeah, so when we're navigating in the ice, it's a great opportunity to find some seals on ice, and seals often means polar bears chasing for them. So as soon as we get to the ice, we get out and we scout. Basically, we try to see if we can see any polar bears in the vicinity of the ship. It makes it very tricky because, as you can see, the white it's very wide. And even though polar bears are a bit more ivory color, with all this ice, it's very hard to spot, especially because they could just lay down behind an ice float or a little ice sheet. It's really an environment where polar bears are at ease, and that's where they get their best meal ever. So yeah, fingers crossed.
We've mostly been watching up from deck 8, where you get this nice elevated view. You're looking down a little bit more on the ice. You can see the texture. You can just see the ice off forever on the horizon. But we've actually come back down to the bedroom here, and I've come back out to the porch, and we're floating like just 10 feet above these sheets of ice here. And this is just really cool to be so close to it. So anyways, they also have an outer deck on deck 5 where you can walk out and be like right above the ice as well. So we're gonna check that out. But yeah, there's just so many cool places to view the ice from here on the ship. So yeah, this is our day, it's just watching ice. Just come out to the deck 5 viewing platform that they just lower from the edge of the ship here, and you're just about like 10-15 feet above the ice here, and you can watch the front of the ship as it just pushes its way through the ice, and you can see the ice crack, and you get the bright blue swirling of this Arctic water. And yeah, you can just get a really close look up at the ice and just see the crack and hear the rumble of the ship as we're going over. So really cool way to view the ice here. from the back of the boat here on the 7th floor, you can see the wake of the boat, so you can see a little break in the ice where we just came from, which is pretty cool. And from back here we have the hot tubs, so you can just hang out and be in this warm water just overlooking the chilly Arctic ice, and it's just a really cool thing. So looks like they're setting up for the barbecue lunch this afternoon, where we'll eat on the deck here, have a little picnic. Alright guys, we were just relaxing after our barbecue lunch, and they were showing a film, and then over the intercom they said there's a polar bear 12 o'clock straight ahead, so we're going to be looking for the polar bear on the ice glaciers here. Super excited. I've just gotten my first confirmed sighting of the bear. He's quite a ways out there, probably half a mile or so, but he has just had a kill, so there's a couple blood spots, probably killed a seal, and he's walking around a little bit. Very hard to see. Even on the telephoto you can just see that he's a dot on the screen, but he is moving around, so you can look for the movement. Yeah, very cool. So we're gonna see how close we can get. That was one of the most incredible nature sightings I've had. Here we are, the closest I've ever been to the North Pole, and we just have sheets of ice completely surrounding every direction on the boat here. And then seeing the polar bear, it walked parallel to us, and then it was like a little curious, and it started walking directly towards us, sniffing us out, and then walked again perpendicular to us, and still kind of far away, like 200, 300 meters, so we weren't getting like a really tight shot of him, but you could just get this minimal barren landscape and get the bear just walking right across. And yeah, it was just such a cool sighting. So we probably were watching him for about 30, 45 minutes or so until he kind of wandered off that way, maybe went in the water or something. But yeah, just an epic sighting. Everyone's so stoked. That was our second polar bear in 2 days here. So yeah, I don't know what the rest of the afternoon holds, but this has been one of the best days so far. Just, it feels like a dream being out here. It just doesn't feel real. So yeah, I'll let you know if we spot anything else. But besides that, we're probably gonna have to eventually turn around and head back through the ice field. So that'll be fun to watch ice again. So yeah, but that was amazing. Good job, Albatross Expeditions. We're just chilling on the 8th floor deck here, and we were about to move, and suddenly I just spotted the polar bear again. He was right behind this ice chunk and probably closer than he was before. So wow. All right, let's get some shots. That was so cool. So the bear laid down behind this little hill of snow for a little bit and we lost him, but then all of a sudden we just look out the window and he popped up and he was walking really close to the boat and got some really great shots, and then he just walked by, walked off, got some really cool birds flying around him, and yeah, that was our best polar bear sighting so far. And again, just seeing these polar bears in these desolate environments, and it's just wild to think how remote they are and that this is their environment and that they literally just live on ice. Like there's no land here. They just go from ice sheet to ice sheet and looking for things to eat. So yeah, very fascinating to see nature like that. And yeah, so who knows, maybe we'll get another sighting of him and I'll let you know, or tonight we're gonna be just floating through the ice, so we'll probably show you some of that. And I really don't know what the next part of the expedition was, but this was the best day so far, just going through this polar ice sheet and just being surrounded by this dreamy landscape, seeing a polar bear. It's everything we wanted. So yeah, I'll let you know next time something exciting happens. Good morning, guys. It is our third day on the northern expedition of Svalbard here, and the captain has woken us up and he's parked right up against this jagged rock cliff, and then we have this amazing deep blue glacier here, and you just have these huge chunks of ice. There's a couple waterfalls, and we're in this very narrow, skinny fjord here, and it's just a beautiful spot. So the ship is always amazing me, but the fact that he was able to navigate it to this spot and anchor it here and use all of these GPS thrusters to keep us in location here is just incredible. And yeah, just a great view to wake up to this morning. So yeah, we're gonna enjoy some more ice here, except more glacial ice instead of polar ice. And yeah, then we'll see what other expeditions we have for the day, but great way to start the morning. Alright guys, we just had a very relaxing morning. We were just parked up right against that glacier for the longest time, and we're able to like drink our coffee and just waiting to see some ice fall. So After lunch, we've taken about an hour cruise to the 14th of July glacier, which is a much bigger glacier out this way. And I think we're going to be doing a Zodiac cruise this afternoon as part of our expedition. So they're going to start sending out the scouts, seeing if there's any wildlife or polar bears out in some of these regions here. And then if we're clear, we're going to go out and do the Zodiac and get up close to some of the glacial ice here.
Bridge, Zodiac number 6 outbound with 7.
Copy.
We're gonna be cruising for about an hour. There's some wildlife that we might spot on the way. Then probably just float along the coast over there, getting a little bit closer, not too close to the glacier to enjoy the views of the front snout there. Darker black bird, that is a puffin. So we won't get too close because of course it's gonna fly away.
Amazing puffin sightings along these cliffs here. A bunch of other guillemots and other birds just perched in the cliffs here, but probably saw about 7 or 8 puffin. But we're gonna keep going along the cliffs here and cruise a little bit closer to the glacier. We just did our little Zodiac cruise up to the edge of the glacier there, and it was just incredible to see these giant slabs of ice. He was saying maybe some of them are 50, 60 meters above the water, but then some of them might have up to 100, 150 meters of depth beneath the water there. But we've come over to this little sandy beach area and we did an Arctic landing, getting out of the Zodiac, stretching the legs on land for a little bit, which I don't think we've even been on land yet on this trip. So yeah, let's walk around. So we've just walked around for about 10-15 minutes on our Arctic landing here, and there's some old remains of an old whaling and sealing burning site. And so you have a few of these old ovens from the 1700s during the whaling industry here. So very fascinating to see some of the history here. We're gonna head back to the Zodiac, head back to the ship, and we'll see what the plan is for the rest of the afternoon. We've been hanging out on the boat this afternoon, and it's a beautiful afternoon. Sun is shining. We're surrounded by the fjords here still, and today is the polar bear plunge. Originally, I wasn't going to do it, but everyone else did it. I've been peer pressured into it, so let's go for it. At least it's sunny out. Yeah, Case? For a second.
White people entertain!
Shot? No. Cheers! Did it! Woo! What'd you think?
Honestly, I felt very refreshing.
It was. It's kind of refreshing. That was a shock to the system, but just got right out, and glad I did it. I don't think I would have regretted not doing it, but I'm happy that it's done. And now I get to warm up, go to the hot tub. They give you a shot as you're coming out. And again, couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day for it. Yeah, solar plunge!
Put on a onesie.
I did. Good morning, guys. It is the fourth and final day of our Svalbard expedition, and we've just woken up in front of Ny-Ålesund, which is the northernmost settlement here. I know Longyearbyen is the northernmost city and has a lot of the northernmost titles, but this is a small little settlement. Looks like there's only about 20 houses or buildings, but they do have a post office. I think there's like a small museum. There might be a hotel, but we've just come here, and there's a nice little harbor, and the plan for this morning was to get off the ship and get a little walking tour of this settlement here, but right when we woke up at about 8:30, they announced that there's a polar bear off the front of the boat here, probably just about a mile off the front of the boat on a little island, which means we can't walk around too much. We might still be able to do a guided tour with some riflemen and see the town, but for now we're going to look at the polar bear, and then at about 9 they'll start the guided walks around the city here. That was a cool way to wake up this morning to our 5th polar bear of the expedition here, but pretty soon they're calling us down for our guided walks of Ny-Ålesund. It's a community of about 150 people, so we're probably going to be heading down there soon. This is probably the announcement.
Good morning. We call now the group Yellow. Don't take form for the guided walk in Ny-Ålesund.
So you have all understood that there's a bear on the island. It will be a bit different than we thought. Roaming around is not happening as you heard. This is a guided city walk, so we will all stay together. We will go to town. I will tell you a bit the history. We will go to the shop, and then we continue our walk.
just come to the town center of Ny-Ålesund here. There's this old red building, that's the museum, and then we have the yellow building, which is a shop in the northernmost post office in the world. So yeah, we have a little bit of free time here. Because of the polar bear, we can't roam freely around the town, but can get just some shots of this really cool architecture against this stark landscape. So yeah, and so I'll probably show you the inside of the shop. Just checked out the little shop here, got a postcard, sent a letter from the northernmost post office, and there's a cute little coffee and waffle shop out here so you can get some hot coffee. And yeah, we're just gonna enjoy being in this town for a little bit until we go and check out the museum. Just been getting a little tour of the town here, and we've made it all the way to the edge, right where it says you can't go any further because there's polar bears. And then the polar bear that we're seeing on the edge of town just started moving. He's up and wandering around a bit. We're about halfway through our little tour of Ny-Ålesund here, and again we got to the edge of town where the polar bear sign was, and you can see the polar bear in the distance, and they started moving, and because of that we're gonna have to evacuate and head back to the ship. But so we're cutting our tour a little bit short here, but really fascinating to see this little outpost, the most northern community in the world. But yeah, time to evacuate because of the polar bear. Alright guys, we've just watched the bear swim all the way across the fjord, and he eventually made it onto the land on the other side of the water. And we were just having lunch, and now we've spotted the bear again on the side of the hill here, and some reindeer. So we have some reindeer running, we have this polar bear just walking across this grassy knoll. So we're gonna follow him and track him for a little bit here. Just traced the bear around the edge of the cliff here, and we just stopped, and he was swimming, and there's some baby seals swimming, circling all around him, and this is just an incredible sight. That was one of the best polar bear sightings we had. It was probably an hour, hour and a half. Well, he started on the island that we were starting near the town of Ny-Ålesund, and then he swam all the way across, and then again we watched him walk across like a grassy knoll with some reindeer in the distance. Then he came down for a little swim, and he was swimming, and there were a bunch of baby seals jumping around as well, and he was just very playful. He was like laying on his back, then he was eating something. We didn't see a kill, but it looked like he was eating seaweed or something out of his paws there. And yeah, just an incredible sighting and super close too. And then not to mention the scenery was just epic. You had these granite rocks, but then you had this bright green grass, you had these jagged peaks, there was a glacier off in the distance, and these rocky coves just made it for a very scenic sighting of the polar bear too. So we're just gonna hang out on the ship and see what's next. Afternoon expedition here. Our captain has parked us up right against King's Glacier, and we're all the way at the end of Kings Bay, and here we have about 180 degrees surrounding us of just glacial walls. And again, some of these walls are about 50-60 meters high, and then you have the glacier will calve, so you have all of these floating icebergs beneath us that have come off the glacier in the last day or two, and they said that some of these will have like 50 meters beneath the water surface of these icebergs. So you're just seeing the caps of some of these ice, and we get this incredible deep blue color and interesting gradients and lines through the ice. And then some of the rocks around here have a reddish sediment, so the water has a reddish, murky kind of look to it. So you get this contrast of the bright blue glaciers and the red water, which is just really fascinating. So let's enjoy some of the views. We are just starting our float away from King's Glacier through the King's Fjord here and heading back to Longyearbyen through the night. And so that'll be about our last stop on my second round on the Svalbard expedition, doing a lot more of the west and the northern part. And this was just an incredible, the last couple days, it felt like a dream. It's felt like a movie, just seeing all of these unreal landscapes, these dramatic sights, just pushing through some of the Arctic ice. And then we just had so many good polar bear sightings. We were able to see three in three different occasions and three different environments. And then yeah, getting to do a couple expeditions there. Anyways, this was just a dream expedition trip. This was my first time doing expeditions, so it was interesting having such a flexible time schedule, because usually I am so used to working with really strict itineraries. So to have this kind of flexibility in just seeing what happens and allowing it to happen when it happens, and following different weather patterns and taking it one day, one afternoon, 1 hour at a time was incredible. And Albatross Expeditions, all of the staff, all of the food, all of the facilities of the ship, it's just a very comfortable place to be. And then when something exciting happens, you have all of these amazing viewing platforms And then there's such incredible food, and they take such good care of our rooms and hospitality, and it's just been such an incredible journey doing the last 10, 11 days with Albatross Expeditions. So really hoping to go on a lot more expedition trips now that I've stepped my foot into this world of travel. It's just such a unique way to see these very off the beaten path kind of places. So anyways, hopefully this helped give you an idea of some of the things you'll see and do in Svalbard and what an expedition trip can be like, and all of the wildlife you can see, some of the really cool experiences and excursions, and I hope you guys get to experience this for yourself sometime. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.